Good morning, students. So in today's video we will learn about remote login and file transfer protocol. So file transfer protocol, or in short FTP is used for transferring file from one computer to another computer. Means the other computer will be in remote place, maybe from your computer, from your desktop or mobile phone. If you are transferring some file to another computer or another server which is at a very far away location, then you have to use FTP protocols. So we will know about this in details. First, FTP, the file transfer protocol, is a standard network protocol used for transfer of computer files between a client and a server on a computer network. So the most common use of FTP is to download files from the internet. Whenever you're downloading files from internet, or even if you're downloading some images or videos from WhatsApp, you are actually using FTP. So FTP is one of the oldest application protocols. Still it is used on internet, and it is invoked by web browser. You have to use some web browser, or there are certain different type of softwares like FileZilla which can be used for uploading or downloading files. All the developers they uses this kind of softwares. They develop a software, they develop a website in their own computer. Then from that computer, if they have to upload it to the server, they will use this FTP protocol by using some softwares. Using those softwares, they will upload. So in your book you will see the see about uses. In page number 23 you will see uses, run FileZilla. You don't have to know this part, you can skip this portion. Then advantages of FTP. So first advantage is FTP is fast and efficient way of transferring bulks of data across the internet. So using this FTP you can easily transfer all this information or all the files from your computer to that server very easily. It has a automatic backup, that is, suppose by mistake these softwares or these files are deleted, it will keep a backup of those files. FTP gives you control over transfer, means which file you want to transfer, when you want to transfer. It gives you total freedom. You can work with directories on the remote system, delete or rename the remote files using using this FTP. If you have uploaded any file, you can easily rename those file, or you can delete those file very easily by using this FTP softwares. And while using FTP, tools like macros can be used to make your work more efficient and easier. Means here tools like macros means there are certain tools available with those softwares. So using those softwares, it becomes very easier to do all this work. Then disadvantages: FTP was not designed to be secure protocol. Means whenever you're transferring these protocol files, these using FTP, it is not actually secured, because there are certain attacks like bounce attacks, brute force attacks, username protection, spoof attacks, packet sniffing, and port seal. These are some of the attacks which are used by hackers to hack those websites. If those websites are not secured, and if they are transferring only through FTP, then there is a chance that it can be hacked. Next is Telnet. Telnet is short for telecommunication network. It is a simple text-based virtual terminal protocol allow a user to log on to one TCP/IP host to access other hosts on the network. Telnet was created and was launched in 1965. So using Telnet, what you can do from your home, you can use your computer. Suppose in your home there is one computer, and let's say there is one more computer in your native place, or maybe in school you are having a computer. Using this Telnet, means your home computer, you can easily access your your second computer wherever it is. If it is in another state, another country, or if it is in another place, you can easily use Telnet to access that computer. So that's the use of Telnet. There are certain files, softwares are there, and suppose you install that software, and also I will install that software. Using that software, what I can do from here, from my home, I can access your computer, I can access all of your drives, and you can also access all of my drives. So that is the use, that's the work of a Telnet. Then SSH, that is secure cells. The SSH protocol is a method for secure remote login from one computer to another. It allows users to control and modify their remote server over the internet. It was primarily created as a secure replacement for the non-protected login protocol such as encrypted Telnet. So those Telnet or FTP, whatever you have seen, using this method, that is secure cell, whenever you are sending some file, it will be encrypted in between, then again it will be decrypted before it reaches the server. So if you see this image, you can see this is on the left side, you can see the client. When first client will initiate a connection with the server, then server will give a key. Actually this key is, you can say, it's a kind of software or it's an algorithm to encrypt the information. So when client will send a message using hello, that key which was sent by server, using that key it will be encrypted. In between you can see it has been encrypted, and again using the same key it will be decrypted by the server. Then the third point is negotiate parameters and open secure channel. It will then again it will exchange some information. Those are all algorithms and program. Then point number 4, user login or server host operating system. User will log into that server, and then it will where that file has to be copied, it will define that particular place. So there are 3 different types of encryption technology. One is symmetrical encryption, one is asymmetrical encryption, and the third one is hashing encryption. So in details you don't have to go all this type of encryption. Next, SFTP, secure file transfer protocol, most widely used secure file transfer protocol today. So instead of FTP, nowadays all the developers or the programmers, they use SFTP, because using SFTP it becomes very secure for transferring file from the client to the server. SFTP also protects against password sniffing and protects the integrity of the data using encryption and cryptographic hash functions. So SFTP uses encryption and some cryptography, so that whenever some files are transferred, it will be encrypted. And if there is any hacker who try to use password sniffing or they use any kind of other hacking devices, they cannot hack this type of files. Then SCP, secure copy. Secure copy is a protocol made for sharing files in a secure manner. So if you are SCP, and it is similar to FTP, which is designed for more security and authentication, that easy access. So SFTP and SCP, you can say it is almost similar. SCP works in a similar way to FTP. In SCP, the client gather information together based on the user has selected, forwards the information through an SSH protocol, and then transfer the file server. Similarly, the client can download files by requesting information from the server. So if they want to download some information from the server, they can use SCP to download. But there is a difference between FTP and SCP. FTP is highly interactive user interface. So FTP, if you are using FTP, it becomes very easy, means it is user friendly. You can easily copy from your computer and directly paste it into the server. The interface is that much easy. But SCP is not that user friendly, because you have to write some command. You have to open command prompt, and you have to write some command. You have to remember, you have to know all those commands to copy from your computer to server. FTP, it has no security features whatsoever and freely transmit the username, password and server address over an unsecure protocol. So if someone is using FTP, then FTP does not have any security features. If you are using your username and password, it is easily accessible by third party. But in SCP, it encrypts the files and verifies the user authentication. Only if the user is authenticate, if he's means one who has the authenticity, only that person can log in. In FTP, it is mostly used by novice users who simply wish to upload and download files to and from their own server. If you are downloading any song from internet, you can easily click on download button and you get that song. So that is FTP. But in SCP, it is often used to transfer batch files in script. So if some programmers are transferring some files from his computer to another computer, then he will be using SCP, because batch by batch he will be transferring the files. So that's for all. This your first chapter is over, and till here you have to see for your half yearly exam. Okay, everything will come from the first chapter, though I will start the second chapter from the next class, but for your exam you have to just see this first chapter. I hope everything is clear, and if you have any doubt we can discuss now. Thank you.